Welcome to the Elite News Highlight. That's right, the Elite News, the church community publication. And you can rest assured that it is dedicated to what my father put it in the inception 64 years ago when he said, devoted to nothing but the truth and to tell it like it is. We have individuals in our society and in our communities that labor for us, and we have no idea. We stand on their shoulders and we exist on their labor. And fortunately, those people labor lovingly. They come from all kind of walks of life and backgrounds. And so today brings me great honor to be able to identify an individual who has pulled themselves up by the bootstraps. And they have accomplished some things, and in their accomplishments, they're not haughty, they're humble. It brings me great pride to introduce you to none other than a gentleman all the way from the deep, deep chasms of East Texas. Not Tyler, but Tatum, Texas. And that comes in the form and in the person, none other than Aubrey Deckard. And he owns Aubrey Deckard and Consultants Trucking. Aubrey, welcome, Doc.
How you doing?
Well, tell us, Aubrey, give us an idea. You know, I can do a whole lot of window dressing for you. Mm-hmm. I can do all that and put some bells and whistles on it and bows and deliver it. But I think the best package delivered is the real package, and it's natural. Tell them how we arrived here. I recognize we've all had our struggles,
yes, sir.
And you've had your struggles, but, you know, it's one thing to make mistakes. It's another thing to overcome those mistakes and those errors and show character by moving forward and being responsible. Talk about that.
Yes, sir. I got in trouble at an early age, and ultimately led me to incarceration of 16 years.
Wow.
From 1998 to 2014. And when I got out, I knew I wanted to make a change and do something different. So that's what I did. And had some childhood friends, and they was doing exceptionally well, and they told me about the oil field. So I ended up getting a CDL, going down there to TSTC in in Marshall, Texas. And that's how it all started. I started working in the oil field, and I learned what they was doing, and I didn't want to be a guy that got dirty because I could think, you know. So I started my company, and here I am.
Okay. Yeah. So your company, I had the good fortune of seeing you and your guys interact with people and at an engagement this week. And I was rather impressed just from a distance. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know who was who in that group. Mm-hmm. And then as we sat at the table and I recognized and it started defining itself by virtue of individuals going out and speaking and then pointing everyone back to you. Mm-hmm. And I was rather impressed with the humbleness or the humility in which you operated, only to find out that, man, you run a $37 million company.
Yes,
you don't
sir.
look like it. You don't act like it. I can't say that if I ran a $37 million company.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I might be trumping around here. That ain't a good thing. Hold on. Just let me say that. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, so what I found is, in the beginning, the money's not going to always be there. And people create the money, and you have to bring those relationships together. So I met a lady named Miss Marlene Johnson, who's a very close friend, my best friend, my big sister. She really plays a major role in my life. And we came together, brought some more pieces together, people that other people didn't believe in and see the greatness in, but I did. And together we did create a $37 million company a year. That's what we're doing, yes.
So in the trucking industry and in what you do, not only do you do the trucking industry for yourself and for your own profit for the company, but you also have some give back and some outreach. So tell us a little bit about the give back and the outreach as you progress in the business.
Yes, I progress. I'm always looking for felons, people that didn't have an opportunity.
Stop right there. Did you hear what he said? He's looking for, not for you to happenstance and come by, but he's looking for felons, people who have run astray of the system but are looking to correct their wrongs with their character and with their productivity. Go ahead, Doc.
Yes, looking for fellas and to help those people that no one believe in, basically that they're underdogs. And I always looking to help, and if we can save some kids along this journey, which we will. Everyone's not gonna get it, but there are some that's gonna get it. And we want to extend those offers to those people, and letting them know that sometimes school might not be the best thing for everybody, but you can go to trucking, and there is a narrative that you can create for yourself and become very successful.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, and I'm grateful that you have that mindset and that engagement. I was listening to a program a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about the trucking industry, not from a school standpoint, but from a trucking standpoint. But in order to become a licensed truck driver, you have to see for CDLs, you got to go to school. You got to take some tests, and you got to be able to pass them. They were talking about it was a 90,000 truckers shortage. 90,000. They short 90,000 truckers, and you think about this: they're short 90,000 truckers. Talk about that.
Trucking is one of the greatest things to get into because it's something that you can actually get into, and you're not coming out of school with a lot of debt. And there are a lot of trucking jobs, and there are a lot of different aspects and roles into trucking. You might not be a guy that wants to drive over the road, but you can get jobs that pay a lot that your CDL complements. And I think what we have is a lot of guys, they're afraid of trucking because a lot of guys, they don't want to go over the road. They don't want to drive 3,000-4,000 miles of the week. But I always tell guys that this is not a thing that you have to do the rest of your life. You can drive a couple of years and you can actually change your life because a trucking CDL is one of the easiest jobs to get into. You get a CDL, you can be making $80,000, $100,000 a year fresh out of school.
That's interesting, and that's a good point. What I found is that there are a lot of other things that pivot from this. You got the brokers, individuals who simply set up and give you loads and call you and say, hey, you got loads and appoint you loads. Then you got those who go into maintenance and go into maintenance and mechanics and things of that nature. As you progress in this business, you certainly want to know what it is you're dealing with and what it is that you're driving and what you're engaging with. So in that, do you see a lot of pivoting in the business?
Yes, and the beautiful thing about trucking, you got a lot of different avenues in trucking that can make you a profit. Like the gentleman said, you got the mechanic side where you can make $45-50 an hour. You can drive a truck, make decent money. You can also do DOT. You can keep people files. Those drivers have to be regulated by FMSCA. You can do drug tests. All that's in trucking. You have dispatching. You have invoicing. All that is a source of income for you to feed your family besides actually being in a truck.
But you have to be a trucker to understand the dynamics of
Yes, you have. It would always be better if you start with trucking or you actually in a truck to get your CDL. All these things are learned in the context of trucking. Yes, sir.
He started from the bottom, but he's here. He started from the bottom, but he's here, and he's still ascending. Talk about your faith, Doc. What kept you going? What was the drive? Because I'm quite sure you had some doors closed and people didn't believe.
Yes, what kept me going, a long time ago, and people that's close to me, they know this story that my grandmother was an old Indian, and she had one leg, but she was a hard worker, and we were standing by the kitchen cabinet when I was younger, and she was telling me, don't be like my uncle in and out that prison system. And I said, okay, Grandma, I'm going to make some of myself. So when she died in 1999, I was in prison. I was only on year one of 16 more years or 15 more years that I had to do. So that's what gave me the purpose, hoping that she know in spirit that I made something of myself, and that's what drove me to be great. Because no one believes in you until you actually do it.
Well, the beauty of me meeting you and the reason that you're here by virtue of me interviewing you and putting you in the paper and talking about your accomplishments is because of your transparency and your will for transparency. It wasn't something that was pulled out of you. It was something that you rendered when we were talking, and you let that be part of your makeup and your story. For everyone who has gotten to a point in life of where they are, whatever that may be, you've gone through something. Maybe you haven't had the challenges and the obstacles and the self-imposed setbacks that he's experienced and I've experienced, and all you who are watching this, and if you don't, you know me. You know my story. The wayward child of 7 of William and Moselle's 7 babies. I was the bad sibling, and I own that. I got that in my trophy case at home. But for you talked about your grandmother and the fact that she passed while you were incarcerated. And so in spirit and in tribute, you're constantly working and gravitating forward that you may honor what it is that she poured into you.
Absolutely.
What do you have to offer some brothers who will see this, or some sisters? We don't discriminate. This is not gender bias. What do you offer them, man? What's the story? Because your transparency with me, it really compelled me to ask more questions and just pay a little bit more attention to you as we were sitting there talking, because I watch how people gravitate to you and how you dealt with them in such a modest manner. Go ahead.
Now, you have to know that after the rain, there will always be sunshine. You also have to know that every negative it can be turned into positive. Every door that closed, there's another door that opened. Whatever happens in life, it shall pass, even life itself. And it's the consistency of everything that's going to carry you closer to your goals and to your next step. You have to get up every day, whether it's working or not. There were times when I started this truck business, everybody got paid for me. I absolutely wanted to get up, but just something in me, it wouldn't let me give up, paying out people, and then you couldn't even pay your own bills.
Wow.
But I kept going.
Absolutely.
I kept going, and that's why I'm here right now.
Aubrey Deckard, consultant in trucking, but more importantly, Aubrey Deckard, the person who created the company and the image and the reality. It's not just the image, it's the reality. He lives it every day. He gets up and feeds that every day. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to have met you, and this is not the last of it. This is simply the beginning. The foundation has been poured. Now we're going to put bricks in it.
Thank you.
I'm grateful to see an individual who has had their stripes and their difficulties in life to come back and show character. My father always told me it's not the one that can go through life and navigate life without having problems. That's good if you can do it. But it's the one who goes through life, who has problems, and who don't stick their head in the sand, but they pull it out and they work forward. And he used to tell me when I'd be in trouble, man, he said, Darryl, you'll look back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years from now, and as bad as this moment may seem, you'll laugh and you'll look back and say, that moment got me here. Okay. That's what I'm grateful for. When I see individuals like yourself, Mr. Deckard, I'm reminded of that old adage. You say, when you know better, you do better. When you know better and you do better, you do what? He's making it better for the greater good. Mm-hmm. Mr. Deckard, you got some parting words you want to give?
Man, just keep God first in everything you do, and just know you can do it, but you have to want to do it. Consistency. Just remember that. Get up and do it every day, whether it's working or not. Do it every day, and it's going to work out.
If anybody want to get in touch with you or find out how to access the things that you have to provide for them or to have them engage in, why don't you go ahead and give them contact information, website, whatever.
Yeah, my website is www.adct.info. You can find me on Instagram, ADC&T Transportation. The website will give you all the information that you need, and I have someone reach out to you and get you going.
Well, there you have it. You have a story of resilience, redemption, and responsibility. Aubrey Deckard, the fella from Tatum, Texas, deep in the chasms of East Texas. This gentleman owns Aubrey Deckard Consultants and Trucking. He's given you his contact information and how to follow him. And in order to get the premise of it, you can go to www.elitenewsdallas.com. And we're going to constantly highlight these individuals, these pearls, these jewels, these diamonds who are in our community, and let you know who it is and how it is that people move themselves forward. Mr. Deckard, I want to say thank you, and thank you for watching. God bless and God keep is our prayer.